Look, I can't really disagree in terms of what's been out there, and again what Mark touches on there. It seems as if, I mean, Kevin Muscat has been obviously in the media from day dot since Michael Beale lost his job, and then in the last couple of days, Phillipe Clement has been gaining a lot of positivity in the media as well. Recently come away from Monaco, decent managerial career in Belgium with Genk and Bruges, and they for me, Paul, definitely seem to be the most genuine and live candidates. The semi-finals might have been played. We might be moving closer to a final in regards to where Rangers are within their process. But you're right, Mark. I think that in terms of preparation for the Hibs game is something that I think Rangers are mindful of, and have been, again, from all reports, very, very thorough in terms of how they've conducted their business. So I don't think it's a million miles away from decision time. And probably by the end of the week, I think, is a fair summary of where it's probably at and when decisions will be made.
Mark, they need to try. Well, they'll always try to get it right. They need to get this right. And can you remember seeing a Rangers team in the state that it's in at the moment, the lack of confidence, the performance in Limassol, and they won at the weekend then, but maybe not convincingly, although 3-0 against St Mirren. So they need to get it right. They can't. So they can't take their time, though, can they? They have to move, and they are moving quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think since Michael Beale, the parted company, Michael Beale, they've kind of done everything that they can do, Paul, to get to the stage where they appoint a new manager. They've had a couple of conversations with other people who then have no longer in the running, and I think we're down to two. And yeah, there's a lot of work to be done. The defeat and the manner of the defeat to Aris last Thursday night was absolutely unacceptable. I mean, it really was. But over the peace poll since Rangers lost to Celtic on September the 3rd, I've not seen the Rangers fans as angry in a long time. I mean, many years. Even angry when the team was winning under Michael Beale. So they're not having many of the current players at the moment. They certainly weren't having the previous manager. But what the new manager has to do, Paul, is very quickly hit the ground running to get the Rangers fans on side. He has to get a tune out of these players, and there needs to be a budget for them, because the current squad, regardless of how much the new manager can improve them, they're not going to be better than Celtic. So they're up against a formidable force, and that's always been the problem. Going way back to Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, to Matt Warburton, to Steven Gerrard, eventually won a title after year 3, and then Michael Beale. They're up against a formidable force who are tens of millions of pounds ahead of them financially, tens and tens of millions, and right now have a better squad. And if you look at it, I think Rangers, out of the last 7 or 8 Old Firm games, have only managed to win 1 or 2. So there's a big job for the new guy to come in. But what a terrific opportunity for someone, whether it be Kevin Muscat or Phillipe Clement. Personally, I think it's going to be Muscat. I can see more sense in it being Kevin Muscat, and he's just going to have to get his teeth right into it and get a tune out these players quickly, and a chance to win a trophy, Paul, within 2 months.
Both have won trophies, haven't they?
Yeah.
In the J League, obviously, for Kevin Muscat, which is difficult, and a smaller budget. Is it 6 or 7? So, they're not the biggest team in Japan, but he won a title.
Yeah, he's won a title. He won the Super Cup, which was the first time the club's ever achieved that this season. He's in the semi-final. He's got a game tomorrow night, first leg of the semi-final against Urawa.
Busy week for him.
He's 4 points off top of the table. So look, he's in there. But again, obviously, Clement as well has had success in Belgium, like you touch on. Interesting, Paul, Belgium system in terms of, how we have a split here. Well, they have a championships playoff, and at that stage of their competition, they play each other home and away, but what points they currently have is halved. Which is a weird. So if you say, for example, you finished in the top 6, you're on 50 points. You're now on 25 points, and they play each other home and away. It's a weird way of getting to the winner. Professor
Guidi, can you help us with this one?
Absolutely not.
But the thing is, just going on to the European managers, right? Dick Advocaat, huge success. Some people argue that he had a lot of money to spend. He did, but he
good
knew,
manager, though, as you know,
knew exactly what he wanted. made a brave decision and the right decision in promoting Barry Ferguson to captain of the football club. People know how great Barry Ferguson turned out. And he also knew when the time was to step away. We were speaking off air in terms of the
Succession.
the training ground. That was a big push from Dick Advocaat.
Was it? Yes.
Yeah.
I remember the old days, the bus to and from Ibrox, sweating, not great.
Where you go on steps and different things, yeah, up to steps.
Top setup. Obviously advised the club to bring in Alex McLeish.
I was covering it a lot in those days for radio and TV, and you would check where it was. Was it in the south side, or were you in the west end?
Jordan Hill.
Exactly. Honestly, we would chase you around to get the pictures and all
cleaning
that.
the dogs, getting the dogs off the pitches and all that, cricket grounds. But no, good old days, Mark.
Yeah, sure.
But leading back in, so then you've had Caixinha, you've had Le Guen. Disasters. I'm not saying that Clement is going to be a disaster, but the European track record of managers at the club is you would say is not amazing. And I still say, and again, it's not being biased, trust me. Kevin Muscat opens up a market that we haven't even. Celtic have. Rangers haven't touched on that market. Right now, I think a lot of people now, Rangers supporters, are going, that's a great market. There is still a lot of talent out in that area. The business or the player trading model makes a lot of sense. This is a market that Kevin can bring that Phillipe Clement doesn't probably have on his side. European football in Europe, transfers are big for players.
They're massive, aren't they? And of course, with the money from Saudi now, it's a route that's worked for Celtic. Could that work for Kevin Muscat, or would that go against him? That Rangers fans say we don't want to copy the previous Celtic manager.
Paul, whatever it takes to bring in better players than what they've got. What they've got isn't going to win your league. It's not going to get anywhere close to it. So they need to improve what he has. But ultimately, there'll be natural wastage there that they'll try and move out the club in January and bring in new players. But part of the reason why I give Kevin Muscat the edge for me as well is the point that Oz makes there in terms of European managers coming in. The last two, like Gwen and Caixinha, it's not worked. I think when you're at Celtic and Rangers, particularly when you're chasing, when you're the club that's chasing, when you're the club that, Rangers have won 2 trophies in a decade. Celtic have won, 20 trophies in a decade. So it's a hell of a job that this new guy's up against. Yep. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst couldn't get the better of Celtic. Michael Beale couldn't get the better of Celtic. But I think Kevin Muscat, part of the attraction for me with him is he gets it. And I know he was only here for a brief spell, a couple of years, but he gets it. He's that kind of character, that mentality. He gets it. He knows what's required. He knows the mentality of the Glasgow, the West of Scotland, the Rangers supporters. I think as well, he is, and he will be even more so, media savvy. I think Michael Beale was just all over the place in front of the media, mixed messages, talking nonsense, etc., etc. I don't think you'll get that from Muscat. It'll be very clear, very concise, and players will know what they'll have to do.